we are doing a little bit of I'm busy working, so I'll explain that in a moment. But I've asked ChatGPT to give me topics. So this is a get to know me kind of talking about my life and things. Kind of like, I don't know what to expect because I haven't looked at the topics. But I've only looked at the first one just now and I decided, whoa, this is actually going to be brilliant. So I'm going to do this in live while I'm painting. So for those of you that don't know, I study clothing, BSc clothing retail management. I didn't finish my degree. I'm considering going back to the university to try and finish that. We moved to Australia within the last period of me doing my degree. So I would actually love to get my degree, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to do that. Anyway, I love fashion, I love art, so I've decided to merge those two fields and do wearable art. So that is what I'm currently working on. And then I do actually get customers, they send me their logos, and then I take that logo, design a graphic design to put on clothing. So then I paint that on calico and then put it on shirts. So this customer ordered a hat, a sleeveless shirt with a pocket design, a t-shirt, as well as a hoodie. So I'm working on those 4 pieces today. So I thought while I'm doing that, while I'm painting, might as well tell you guys a little bit more about me. And yeah, the first question which I read, or the first statement, so the topic is live stream topics to help your audience really get to know you. The first one is the real story behind becoming a mom at 23 and what no one tells you. So I'm just going to carry on painting while I chit chat to you guys. Ignore me not having eye contact. I feel like I want to put you guys somewhere a little bit better though, so that you can kind of see what I'm painting. How am I going to do that? Let's see. I need to get a DIY little tripod situation going. Oh goodness, oh joy. But now you can't really see me now, can you? No, that's not going to work. Okay, well, anyway, we'll work on that. Future developments. Okay, no wait, let me say live chat. There we go. So. Chris and I got married when we were 20. So we met when we were in grade 11. We met at a bride. And we kind of vibed together for a bit, but he just wasn't ready to commit to a relationship. So he called it off. I was dealing with a lot of issues back then. So when we reconnected, it came out that that was actually the reason he was not ready to commit. I always joke saying, no, he didn't want to commit to one girl, he wanted to commit to 4. But then the reality of it was actually I was dealing with a lot of depression and everything. And he just didn't really know how to deal with that because he's never experienced it on that level, which is so fair. But essentially, we reconnected when we were both out of school in the first year of university. And then COVID happened. So, yeah, long story short, we moved quickly, like life moved quickly for us. We realized that we really wanted to spend the rest of our lives together at an early age, and I do think I motivated that a lot. I don't know if I didn't give the idea of getting married and everything, if it would have happened that soon. I really did like motivate getting married early and everything. But anyway, long story short, we tried for a baby shortly after getting married, and we struggled for quite a few months. We went for fertility treatment, and eventually we decided, well, maybe we are not meant to be parents. We'll just move on with life and see what happens, And then we went to Saudi Arabia for a job opportunity with Warner Brothers. And while we were there, we discovered that I was actually pregnant, which was incredible news, but also challenging in the sense that Chris and I didn't share a room because the other male and female were not married, so they could not share a room. But yeah, it was sad not being able to experience the first part of pregnancy, sharing a space with my husband, and we worked for long hours, so we barely saw each other. But anyway, I experienced a lot of nausea. Like, oh my goodness. I was so nauseous the whole time. Like, literally, that was horrible. I lost, I think, 5 kilograms in my first semester from being so nauseous. So that was definitely something I did not expect. I think we do talk about pregnancy nausea a lot, but I just don't know, like, I don't know, I didn't think it would be that bad for some reason. Genuinely found that to be so challenging. Then, oh, essentially, we returned back home after a while in Saudi, to which life was a bit more casual. We started doing a baby's room. Well, we started doing that before I was pregnant because we were so excited about having a baby that we actually started preparing for a baby before I was pregnant. But now this time it was like, actually, like, I'm officially pregnant, so we actually started getting a baby's room together and everything. Something I find, this is kind of random, but it's detached but not so detached. Something I found to be strange about getting married young is the judgment of it. When Chris and I got engaged, I received a few messages asking if I was pregnant. And I feel that is so sad because something like pregnancy is so common these days in young couples that people just assume that is why people get married. I don't know, like I found that to be so weird. But anyway, what was I saying? I forgot. I lost my topic. So Chris and I got pregnant, came back. Oh, everything went smooth. I tried to stay fit throughout my pregnancy. Then at a point I was not feeling well. I started fainting a lot and I was eating very well. Like I was really eating food and everything. And we were exercising, but I wasn't pushing my body beyond its limits. I was just healthily exercising. And I just felt weird. I was like really extremely tired and I couldn't understand what was happening. But I decided, you know what, like I'm pregnant, I shouldn't like play around. I should just go have a chat with my gynae and ask like, listen, like what's happening? Because in South Africa, you go to the gynae for all of your pregnancy queries. In Australia, things are very, very different compared to here. We don't really have, like, I think we do have midwives, but it's not as traditional in South Africa. So I only consulted my gynae for my whole pregnancy journey with Bella. And then basically came to be my iron levels were extremely, extremely low. So I got taken up in the hospital. And then I got an iron infusion. I felt really much better after that. But after that, once again, things were pretty chilled. We essentially then actually my dad decided it would be best for us to give birth in Australia. That way, since I'm a permanent resident, my children would, or my child at that point at least, would get permanent citizenship because the plan at that stage in life was to move to Australia. It was just I was going to finish my degree first. We still had a few years in mind before moving. But then, yeah, I had to get like special permission letters to be able to fly so late in my pregnancy and everything. Um, we went to Australia, which was such an incredible blessing. Like being able to experience my pregnancy, the last end of it at least, with my husband, and basically having an extended baby moon. Like that's what it felt like. It was giving baby moon. Oh my goodness, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Um, I think baby moon is such an underrated thing. Like, it's not viable always, but I think it's such a great thing. Anyway, it wasn't a baby moon, but like it felt that way, if that makes sense. Um, and obviously, Australia is very expensive compared to South Africa. So we had to budget a lot. We had to really, really like learn how to live in a country that we've just never really experienced before, and navigating that while being pregnant. And we didn't have transport, so we fully relied on public transport, and just like having to navigate a new country, like it was so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that so much. um so yeah, we got to do that. And then also in that process I had to get my medical, what do you call it, Medicare, medical, what is it called again? Medicare. I think that's what it's called. I am blanking right now. I had to get that set up and sorted out very fast because baby could be coming at any point. Obviously, it wouldn't be ideal for her to come at that stage, but realistically, I was far along. So everything got set up, everything worked out well, and then we just really fell in love with the city life. We really fell in love with it. We really enjoyed it a lot. So we decide, hey, what if we perhaps move now? Like, what if we don't return to South Africa permanently? Like, what if we go back to, show the baby to the family and everything and grab a few things we need, but move to Australia? And so the decision was made to move to Australia. So we moved to Australia, and then we returned and everything. My husband had to get his partner visa sorted out rather fast because everything happened in such a short span of time. So we had that done and everything. Luckily, the timeline it worked out quite well. We sold our car and everything that we could on the side in the timeline that we had. We obviously tried to do it as fast as possible because we were back for I think 6 weeks before actually moving. So that was exciting and scary and crazy all at once. And then basically we were in Australia. But now to the actual topic of 23 and having a baby. What was the exact topic again? Real story behind becoming a mom and what no one tells you. Okay, so I've told you guys the story of how I became a mom at 23. Because I ended up being pregnant so my wedding was the weekend of my 21st, and then I ended up being pregnant just before my 22nd. I was still 20 when we were married, but then 2 days after that was my 21st birthday. And then the December before my 22nd birthday, we got pregnant. Then, yeah, she came when I was 23, when we were in Australia. So to me, it was so crazy because we were pregnant at a stage where like we were learning about a new country, like we were kind of having all of these curveballs, and we were still like not freshly married, but yeah, we were still very, very new into our marriage. So all of our life up until now together has been quite a few learning curves all bundled in together. I think something that I found very challenging was the fact that motherhood, like you tend to lose a lot of friendships because you go on a new path in life. Especially in my case, I do not have many friends, or at least when my first was born, I didn't have actually any friends I can currently think of that were pregnant, or like all of my friends were in a completely different journey of life. They were still just doing university, focusing on that. And I think I found that to be extremely challenging because I had to single handedly navigate motherhood alone. Like, luckily, I had my husband to navigate it with me, but motherhood and fatherhood, it's different things. So I had his support, but it's just not the same thing, you know? So to me, it was such a blessing in a way because I got to learn on my own. I got to fully, because I think like practical experience is the best form of learning. Um, and I got to experience that on my own, but also I had to experience that on my own. My mom and I didn't really have the absolute best relationship. Like, I think now my mom and I are really close. My dad and I are really close. I'm really feeling like this phase of life, I have got good relationships with most of my family members. Um, I do think, and that's a personal thought, I do think I am the black sheep of the family because I always try to do things differently. It's just how my brain is wired to not try and do things how they've been done before. So I do find that a lot of my choices aren't always necessarily approved by others, but I guess that is life. And we can't expect everyone to be happy with all of our choices. That's just not how life works, unfortunately. Um, but I did find it extremely challenging to go through not only pregnancy, but the start of motherhood was phenomenal. It was the best feeling I've ever felt, but it was the most challenging time of my life to have an 8-hour difference. And whenever I would call my mom or, just call someone to ask for advice, they would mostly be like, oh, I don't remember. I haven't been a mom in so long. Or like, I just didn't feel very supported in that era, in the sense of I didn't have people going through the same experience in that phase. So I had to learn everything on my own. And I think that gave me a lot of knowledge on motherhood because if I struggled, I ChatGPT'd. If I didn't know what was going on, I Googled, I ChatGPT'd. I like went on like rabbit holes on social media of finding people in the same era as me going through the same things. And that genuinely helped me so much because I think something that's a blessing is like of doing this alone. Motherhood in 2026 is so different compared to, well, in that 2023, I guess. Or 2020. Whoa, I'm blanking. Yeah, 2023. Hold on, I'm confused. I was not 23 in 2023. I couldn't. I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know how old I am at the moment. Life. Anyway, pointless. I think motherhood today is very different from motherhood when we were babies. And I think finding people on social media that I relate to really helped me to shape my community, but also it really helped me to really just experience motherhood in the way that I wanted to experience it. Like to really take what I want to take and not necessarily have to take. Um, I think since moving back to South Africa, that has been something that's very different. But in this phase of life, appreciate it a lot. When I had my first baby, I was very, very, very new to motherhood and very scared, very overwhelmed. And I really clinged onto my baby and I really did not want to take much advice from people. I really wanted to experience it for myself, which I think in that era was good for what I needed mentally because I was doing it on my own. But now, having been a mom with my second baby in South Africa, I'm really loving getting to learn from those around me that went through it and taking advice and really making use of that advice because I'm a stubborn person and I've only really started learning how to take advice from people very recently and I'm still learning. I genuinely am so stubborn and I try not to be, but I am. That's who I am. So that has been something that I am thankful I got to experience on my own in a way, is just finding out what works best for me and what not. That way, with my second, now I kind of know what works for me, but I can still experiment with other options to really find out what is best for me. Um, and I think something that I really am sad about is the fact that family didn't really get to see my baby when she was a baby. But then also, babies are babies. They don't really, like, they don't really respond or they're just cute to look at. So, like, I don't think it was I don't necessarily think it's a problem. We moved back to South Africa when Bella really started shaping her personality, like really started getting a personality. So, to an extent, I feel like it was okay. It was a good timeline for that to happen because I'm so happy to be back in South Africa. And yeah, I don't know. But I I feel like I was undermined as a mother a lot because I was 23. And I often get faces from people because I'm young. Why are you so young with kids? But also, that adds pressure to really be the best mom I could possibly be. You've got eyes on you, and yes, you don't need to care what people think of you, but I do, unfortunately. My whole personality is I care too much about what people think about me. And I really think that was something that truly just it got me to a point where I really tried because the weird thing with kids, right? You're never going to know if you're doing it right until you see the result of your kid. Like your kid is the actual result of what you are doing. I don't know if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, I don't know. Like I personally think I really needed to become a mother at 23 because my daughter has healed me in ways that no therapy, no person, no nothing could heal me because she's God sent. She is a God sent blessing, both of them. But specifically now I'm talking about Isabella because that was becoming a mother at 23 or at whatever age that was. Anyway. But it's God sent. It's absolutely a healing form of God giving you a chance. You have messed up so many times in life. and it's easy to disappoint people, but to look at your own daughter, to literally look at your daughter, look her in the eyes, and feel like a failure as a human, that breaks you. That absolutely breaks you in a way that no human being can. And it breaks you in a way that you can't be broken and stay broken. You need to go. You need to build. You need to get going, because no one's going to motivate you. No one's going to tell you, listen, do better. If they do, you don't really necessarily always care. But looking at your own DNA standing in front of you and knowing that you need to be the best example for that human being, that is growth to me. That is I've had so many kids in my life that I've dealt with. I've had so many kids that I have interacted with. I have never in my life felt the need to reshape the person I am for a child until I became a mom. And I think that's the joy of it as well. We grow, we learn, we evolve, we shape ourselves. I have decided to put them in school at this point. I I just find it so challenging to still be myself. I have a lot of me that I have fully put on pause to become a mom, and I've tried to find that me in the meantime through social media and so on, but it's very difficult, and I genuinely still need to be me outside of being a mom. That's just my personality. I need to be the person that I was before becoming a mom, as well as be the person that I'm supposed to become being a mom. But yeah, doing that with my kids around me, I don't know. At this phase in life, I prefer quality time over quantity time. I just find it to be more peaceful. Yeah, I don't know. Might change my mind on that, but love homeschooling. I just also love being me as well, and finding my space in life. I do think becoming a mom at 23 has been extremely challenging, in the sense of not having that community that I really relate to, but also it's been so good for me because I am able to grow much faster than I think I would have if I haven't become a mom, if I haven't been married. I look at friends of ours that are not married yet and stuff, and I think I'm so happy for their timeline in life, and I do think that you need to be very, very considerate of your choices. It is not my parents always said, trou is nie perde koop nie. Getting married isn't buying horses. You can't just undo it. It's forever. It's permanent. It's not just a decision. It has consequences. And choosing the person to have kids with, it's not just a decision. It's a lifetime commitment. And I am just so thankful that even though Chris and I have got extreme challenges that we've been through, we have faced really, really deep waters, and I am so blessed to be able to have a partner that is committed to, we try again, we try again, we try again, we get up, we try again. I think that is something that, yeah, I really hope we never lose. But yeah, long story short, I don't even know. I feel like this can be a topic for hours and hours on end, because it's such there's so many roots to it. But I would love to hear the comments you got, opinions and thoughts and questions. If you guys want to send me a DM or just comment on the video or whatever, all of my socials are the same. It's glitterbomb_official. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. But I would love to dive deeper into this. I found the best community of friends in motherhood because I found mothers as friends. And I just feel so valued. Like, I started a TikTok journey because I was alone and I felt so nowhere in life being a new mother, and that grew immensely. So I am so blessed beyond measure to have such great communities that help me through this time. Um, yeah, I I'm just also so blessed to, at this point in life, I really feel like I've got good relationships with most people. I think Australia was really meant for me to be just to heal a little, to walk away from life a little, and genuinely just heal. Um, yeah. Anyway, I think that's about that on that topic that I can think of right now. But I love chatting with people. So if you guys ever want to like build chats with me or whatever, we can do that. I don't know. I'm gonna end this live and then start a new one for the next question, because then that way you guys can hop in on the topic that you are interested in knowing about and so on. So I think that could perhaps be good. I tend to talk for hours on end. So if you are looking for a little podcast, hi, here I am. I would love to have people like, join me so that I can actually start a podcast and just casual chats. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed me blabbering on about that. I don't even know if I actually answered the question, to be honest. I tend to do that. Um, but if you have questions or if you want to have me go deeper into the topic, put them in the comments. You can send me a DM, you can, whatever works for you. Yeah, toodly doo.